No.
This is a special meeting of Nelson Fiscal Court. Therefore, the agenda items are the only items to be discussed today. The first would be the bills and the budget transfers. We've been kind of hoarding the transfers lately. I'll let Rhonda explain why.
Lack of time to get
Understand, these are just line items within the budget where during the year you find important things that need to be done, so you'll bump money around internally to make it work.
And a lot of those items, the line items don't go over budget until the last month of the year. So I really don't have those to present until they go over budget. So, but everything's good.
No additional
As far as
money
the
being
budget
spent
is-
other than
no.
budgeted. As far as the bottom line goes.
Right.
I'd like a motion to approve the bills and transfers as
Thank you,
presented.
Sam.
How about that?
Second by Jerry Hahn. Any further discussion?
Yeah,
Yes.
just going through these transfers, there's a lot in here from fuel. I guess we're way under budget on fuel this year.
We are way under budget on that.
And this fiscal year, new budget, are we similarly?
We budgeted the higher, as if fuel was $4 a gallon,
Okay.
purposely.
All right.
Yeah.
Because it may be.
Because it may be. Yeah, we've had experience where it has been. So last year, for instance, I can't give you what our current, I haven't done a current reading on it, but last year it was $260,000 less spent on fuel than we budgeted.
And Jack, you understand how we bid
And that's all departments, though, that's not.
Cents per right price.
Right.
So as right price.
And then you said it costs close to $750,000 a year.
That's that's $700,000 a year annual we'll budget for fuel, I believe that's what it is.
But it cost,
I'll give you an exact.
what was it, about 6 years, 8 years ago?
No, not on board.
Yeah, it caught us off guard because it went to 4 something.
Oh, yeah.
And then like the
I mean, you
kids.
got a budget for
Yeah.
the higher
Yeah.
amount, but it's
Yeah.
just
But good point there, Jeff. Okay, motion's been made and second. All approved, say aye. Disapprove? And motion will carry. Next would be update on landfill compactor, John?
I was hoping to present a new machine that I found, but I had a couple leads. I haven't found that yet. There's another one in Canada the guy just bought. He's gonna go through it and then give us a price on that. So I was hoping to get that before now, but hopefully I get that at the end of the week. I'll talk about it next week.
And we'll have a meeting, next meeting we'll be discussing.
Right.
What about and I asked John to look at that, those lower price ones, so, we had pretty good luck overall the first 15, 20 years I've done with those old Marshall.
They're called Rexes.
Rexes. We broke a couple axles.
Okay, that company is completely out of business, Rex Compactor. They don't make them.
Don't make parts anymore.
Period. So what you're doing is you're buying parts from,
Used machinery somewhere.
correct, and it's a good point, and I know what Dean's getting at. It's half the price of the other one. It's just the issue you're gonna get into is finding parts for them and your downtime and whatnot. The only company that really deals with those anymore is that what's it
It's
called?
landfill equipment.
Landfill equipment out of Missouri. And we bought a piece of equipment from those guys, and they stand behind their stuff. It's just, it gets hard to find parts for them, guys. I mean, they don't make them no more. So think about that, why don't they make them anymore?
And the hours on those, let's see, the cheapest one was $8,500 and 10,000 hours for the next one. So they were
How many dollars are you talking about?
102,000 for the one with 8,500 hours and 87,900 for the one with 10,000 hours.
The motor had 10,000 hours on it?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's been around a while.
Yeah.
Usually, and you guys know, you've heard me talk about it, when you start getting on 12,000 hours on a diesel engine and that application, same thing with the high lift, knocking on the door of a rebuild. Get to 15, really counting your lucky stars on that. So that one, you got a year's worth of time in it, and then you're gonna rebuild the engine. If it was my own money, and Dean always says to do this, if it's my own money, I'm not buying that unit.
It's ready to go to water.
I'm buying something Caterpillar. There's a reason everybody runs Caterpillars.
And everybody rebuilds Caterpillars. You don't see these rebuilt, you see Caterpillars rebuilt.
Correct.
All your mechanics are Caterpillar trained too.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, that piece of equipment, we've had one before, and Dean's not wrong. It had a Detroit engine in it, and those Detroit engines were pretty good engines. The issue we always had was the axles and
We had 15 years.
problem. Yeah.
But you just used it for a backup, didn't you?
No, it was the
No,
main
it
piece
was
of
the
equipment.
big, it was the big daddy.
So-
It was green, right?
Green gray.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, don't mistake why that one lasted longer than the other ones. It may be other reasons that Rex lasted longer than the Caterpillar. That's all I'm
Landfill
gonna
was
do.
busy back then.
What about the
It was
weight?
down.
They're the
weight,
same.
The pounds are the same?
They're about the same, yeah, very similar.
Because I know the heavier machine over time will pay for itself in the added.
To a point. The only thing you gotta be careful with that on, like Caterpillar has, and I'll use them as an example too. The next size up for a Caterpillar is an 836. The next size up from this Rex that they bid is a 390. They weigh 120,000 pounds. So you know what you're getting at, better compaction and all that.
Right.
There is a return on your money though, like when you go replace a cylinder on those big ones.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Typically rebuild an engine on an 826 is about 30 grand. You're probably looking at 50 on those bigger engines. It just is what it is. The bigger they are, the more they cost.
Yeah.
Just give us some time. Hopefully at the next court meeting, we get some other ones. And if you all decide that's the route you want to go, you're the bosses.
If you remember, we first started out, Ken didn't make a compactor.
Correct. And basically what Caterpillar did, to be honest with you, is they took the dirt compactor
Yes.
and they retrofitted it to a landfill compactor. And what they put on it, they tried to put different wheels on it, of course, to keep the stuff from going in on the axles. There's some cutting blades actually on the interior of the axle to help that stuff from getting down in your seals. They put different belly pans on them to help mitigate that trash getting up in them. There is no truly keep them from getting up in it. And I talked with Sam and Bernard about some ideas on how to, moving forward, to minimize the problems we've had, so.
Maybe bring them down once a week or something.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
plan.
Yeah.
Duct tape them up, man.
We're gonna do something different.
That's a strong duct tape.
I'm tired of getting called to the principal's office.
Yeah.
And check the hose, make sure we're using the right kind of hoses on.
Thank you, John.
Yep.
Okay, next on the agenda is radio tower upgrades. We'll call on Joe. The sheriff had presented me a quote the other day to do some upgrades on a couple of the tires. You want to explain, Joe?
The quote you have is, represents the cost of doing the third site, the third phase of the project that we worked on for probably 3 years now. This would put a site in the Bloomfield area, and then tie the sites together, Bloomfield, Salt River, and New Haven for law enforcement through microwave from Bloomfield to Salt River and internet voice over IP from New Haven to Salt River. Basically, that gives us two options. It gives law enforcement two options when they're on duty. We will have a multi-site scan, which would be one zone of the radio that actually pings the three sites for the strongest signal. So whichever site they're closest to, that's the site their radio would pick up on and transmit to, without the deputy having to do anything to the radio. The second option allows the deputy to select which site they want. If they're in the south end, they want to talk on the repeater from south end, they would physically change the channel to channel 2 or 3 and talk on that. So it gives two options of whichever works best for us would be up to the sheriff and the deputies on which site they want to go to.
So you're saying that this is all one package that you need to put
Kind
together?
of ties everything together, and we'll probably have another $1,500 in actually construction at the site in Bloomfield, some concrete pad work, things that the road department has helped us with before, but we'll have some costs there. So initially, each site we've allowed $15,000 for our project, and so we're under this part of this site is $13,000, knowing that we'll have another $1,500 in expense to actually build the site.
Is that what it's saying with, we'll need an internet connection at New Haven site?
The only thing that you don't see on here is a recurring, at New Haven, we'll have a recurring monthly internet cost. I think there's Spectrum down there now.
Yeah, why do you have to have it?
The New Haven sets in a hole, your area.
You gotta have basically.
The tower is not tall enough. We have to have line of sight with microwave. From Bloomfield, we have line of sight. for microwave. In other words, there's no obstruction.
No obstruction.
With New Haven, there's no way we can get tall enough. On the tower, we've got absolutely not, and we couldn't get tall enough. So the next best thing is to actually have an internet connection there, and then the radio would talk back to Salt River on the internet connection on that.
Good internet. Have you already got a site looked up?
We tentatively do. We still have some details to work out, but 90% sure.
Joe, a couple of years ago, we talked about this microwave solution to some of the other towers. I guess it'd be a good test.
Yes,
for you.
if it, yeah.
I don't know who these L&W is, but.
They've done a lot of the radio work with hard climb and antennas inspection, and they have experience with the microwave, and they're considerably cheaper than others.
And they got experience in rural areas.
But
I use these ubiquity wireless devices, and I've got several of them in place right now. They're pretty soft. It's a good choice. So,
our plan is to make the jump from Bloomfield to Salt River, from Salt River to the dispatch center at Plaza. So that'll all be microwave.
the only issue that I ever had with wireless is reliability, and these things have been pretty rock solid. They don't like lightning when it hits them.
None of us do.
But for the price, you could have spares pretty quickly.
And I would suggest that after we get up and going to keep some spare equipment.
And this is a Nelson fiscal court expense, not a dispatching expense?
This is yeah, we feel like it.
I have a problem with it, I just want to make sure we're all.
Since it's an infrastructure for the county, and the county's built a tower, and doesn't want.
So I want to make a recommendation, guys, that we go with this.
Motion we approve it.
Motion by Bernard Ice to approve, second by Jeff Lear. Any further discussion? All approve, say aye. Disapprove? Motion will carry.
Quick question. What, on the internet, New Haven monthly fee? $50, $40, $80?
60 something like
It's probably $50.
$60 a month.
Another $600-700 a year.
Okay. Thank you.
If it helps, it's worth every penny of it. And double it.
Well, it's a long time coming.
Yeah. Okay, next on the list is the paving list.
Zane, I don't know if you have a copy of Jeff's paving list.
Would you guys put a comment there?
Nope.
I got
I can go make some more if you need.
I was going to give our news media. I'll make it. Tyler, you run that in there and get Kelly, make us some copies. I got some being made there. This is the old one here, this is not correct, we updated.
There was one road that needed to be, that was left off, my mistake.
Change one.
You're going to die. He's my favorite magistrate right now.
He must be.
You were down and out, we didn't know you was going to be here today.
Y'all planning on up, they'll be planning. Well, I'm here.
Already looking for a replacement.
Yeah.
Get trained up.
Okay, let's stick on subject here. This is the blacktop list for District 4, $120,000 of Jeff's regular money, and then the balance will come out of the pot of money that you have set aside for the, thank you. Who didn't get a copy of that? Sam?
Thank you.
You get one? Jeff got one. Amelia, you got one, didn't you? Everybody got- yeah. Elaine, you got one? Have to turn it on the legs. Okay.
Walnut Creek, it's pretty smooth.
So the balance of that will come out of the appropriated money, which is 120, so you're looking at about $90-some thousand coming out of my hide.
I invite any magistrate to go ride any of these roads to see what really what a bad road looks like.
That ain't bad.
Focusing forward, I'd like to say he did not get his discretionary money. That's the reason Cedar Grove is on here. As listed, King Road, I put on your list, Jeff, but that is funded through flex funds. So that amount will be county funds, guys, the way I put it. Once those flex funds, we've already approved that, I'll get a PO out on that. But sometimes we don't include that. Some of the people out on King Road get upset why their road's not. It's just a reminder to us. But
Motion
they
in
need-
order.
I will make a motion to approve the list.
A second?
A second.
Second by Jerry Hunt. Now, anybody want to discuss it? Forever hold your peace. All approve, say aye. Disapprove? Motion will carry. Next would be a second reading of the budget amendment that we did several weeks ago. This was the original budget amendment where it showed the sheriff had excess fees to us. We've advertised for first reading and second reading. We've advertised for second reading and adoption for today. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Sam. Second by Jeff Lear. Further discussion? All approve, say aye. Aye. Disapprove? The motion will carry. Entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Bernard Ice, second by Jeff Lear. All approve, say aye. Disapprove? The motion will carry. Thank you all.